Is there really a time tunnel hidden in Tibet? Could a pilot have actually traveled back in time to ancient Egypt and witnessed the construction of the pyramids? If time travel were ever truly achieved, what would it mean for humanity? Hi everyone, welcome to the World in 10 Minutes series. Today let's talk about one of the most classic themes in science fiction movies: time tunnels, time travel, and wormholes. Rather than just being wild human fantasies, they actually represent a scientific goal humanity has long dreamed of achieving. Most of us probably learned about time travel through novels or movies, like the famous Interstellar or Back to the Future. These films all explore the concept of time tunnels. But in real life, have there been any actual cases of humans accidentally entering a time tunnel? Surprisingly, yes, and not just once. In August 1971, a Soviet pilot named Alexander S. was flying a MiG-21 supersonic jet on a routine training mission. At first, everything seemed normal, but after a regular burst of acceleration, he pushed the control stick and suddenly felt a jolt in the aircraft. A bright flash of light shot past his eyes, and within seconds, everything returned to normal. Confused by what just happened, Alexander looked out and saw a sight he would never forget. The familiar landscape below was gone, replaced by endless deserts and yellow sands. To his astonishment, he saw a massive pyramid standing tall in the distance. He was stunned. After all, he had been flying over Russian territory, and Egypt is more than 6,500 kilometers away. You definitely can't get there in a few seconds. As the view became clearer, he broke out in a cold sweat. Next to the completed pyramid, there was another one still under construction. Only the base had been built. On the ground were tens of thousands of people working hard to move stones, an epic and bustling scene. From this, it seemed obvious. Alexander had traveled back to ancient Egypt. According to archaeologists today, the pyramids were built between 2800 BCE and 2300 BCE, almost 4,500 years ago. So, did Alexander accidentally fly into a time tunnel and witness the miraculous construction of the pyramids? After a few minutes, another jolt hit his plane, followed by the same bright flash. And just like that, he was back in Russian airspace. He immediately reported the incident to the ground command center. They told him that, indeed, his aircraft had disappeared from radar for several minutes, and they had tried calling him but received no response. To this day, there's no scientific explanation for what happened. Many believe Alexander entered a time tunnel and successfully experienced time travel, and that story only took him a few thousand years back. Let's now talk about someone who went back even further. 200 million years into the past. In 1982, a NATO pilot was flying over Northern Europe on a routine mission. He accidentally entered what appeared to be a prehistoric world. According to his account, he was flying normally, not doing anything out of the ordinary, when suddenly he saw hundreds of dinosaurs roaming through the forest below. All kinds of dinosaurs. Tall ones, short ones, some grazing on plants and trees, and they even seemed to notice him. Just as he was frozen in shock, he felt something speeding rapidly toward him from behind. Relying on years of flight experience, he instinctively turned his control stick to dodge it. He thought it was another fighter jet from his team. But when he turned around, what he saw was a 3-meter-long pterosaur, a flying dinosaur. It looked exactly like the reconstructions made by scientists: a long, pointed head, giant wings, and powerful claws. For the next 10 minutes, he could see dinosaurs on the ground and in the forest below. Then, just as suddenly as it started, he returned to reality. He later told his teammates about almost being attacked by a pterosaur, but no one believed him. They assumed he had flown into a thundercloud, which made his plane's signal disappear for 10 minutes. As for the dinosaurs, they said it was probably just a hallucination. Did a time rift open above the clouds in 1986? In 1986, 4 years after the last mysterious flight, an American pilot was flying an S-271 high-altitude reconnaissance plane during a mission in thunderstorm-heavy weather. This kind of weather is actually quite dangerous. After all, airplanes are made of metal and are equipped with radar receivers, making them highly vulnerable to lightning strikes. To avoid danger, the pilot ascended to fly above the storm clouds, where the risk of being struck by lightning was much lower. He also increased his speed, hoping to finish the mission quickly and return to base. But something completely unexpected happened. In an instant, his aircraft seemed to pass through some kind of time rift. And where did he end up? The Middle Ages. Let's quickly review. European history is typically divided into three periods: ancient times, the Middle Ages, and the modern era. The Middle Ages began in 476 AD with the fall of the Western Roman Empire and ended in 1453 with the fall of the Eastern Roman Empire. That's nearly 1,000 years ago from today. Many major events took place during the Middle Ages, such as the fall of Rome, the rise of the Carolingian Empire, and the Crusades. But one event overshadowed them all: the Black Death, which claimed the lives of 25 million people across Europe, about one-third of the entire population at the time. Science and medicine were very underdeveloped back then. The plague turned everyday life into a living hell, with corpses piling up everywhere, smoke rising from burning bodies, a foul stench hanging in the air, and a landscape filled with blackened, scorched earth. And this was the exact scene the American pilot found himself in. He attempted to lower his speed and altitude to greet the people on the ground. But strangely, no one seemed to be able to see him. He later described seeing castles, villages, and overwhelming darkness. What scared him most was the thought of running out of fuel. Because if he crash-landed in this time period, he could very well die from the plague. Thankfully, about an hour later, the pilot reappeared in modern airspace. But strangely, his watch was 1 hour behind, suggesting that he truly spent an hour in another timeline. This makes us think. We've heard of many planes and ships disappearing without a trace. What if those weren't accidents? Maybe they entered time tunnels. But unlike this pilot, they found an entrance, with no exit. Back in 1935, the ambitious leader of the Nazi SS, Heinrich Himmler, founded a secret society called Ahnenerbe. Its mission was to explore hidden corners of the world to locate time portals, in hopes of making Nazi Germany invincible across time and space. Germany, despite being a single nation, had launched war on nearly all of Europe. While its military power was strong, the ongoing war consumed enormous resources. By 1944, Germany was already showing signs of decline. Himmler believed that if they could find a time tunnel and travel back to 1939, they could correct their mistakes, rewrite history, and win the war. It sounds crazy. But the Nazi regime was known for its obsession with the occult. In fact, Hitler had ordered Himmler in 1938 to organize an expedition to locate descendants of the Atlanteans, a mythical race said to have vanished overnight. Hitler believed that Atlantis disappeared because they entered a time tunnel, and their ancestors now live in remote, uncharted parts of Earth, one of which he thought could be Tibet. Tibet is often seen as one of the most mystical regions on Earth. It's even rumored to hide a time gate. We do know for sure that Germany sent 2 expeditions to Tibet. Over several years, they collected animal and plant specimens, studied local culture, and heard of a legend they had never encountered before: the theory of Earth's axis. According to local belief, there's a place called Shambhala which holds powerful energy. It's said to contain mountains, oceans, sun, moon, and stars. Like an underground world. Whoever controls it could control the world. The German team compiled these findings into a book called Mystical Tibet. However, when Germany surrendered in 1945, its ambition to conquer the world through time travel crumbled. Germany now claims that Mystical Tibet was destroyed in a fire in 1945. The documents collected by the second expedition in 1951 were reportedly confiscated by the British government. So, did Nazi Germany actually find a time gate? What did they discover? What strange things did they encounter? All of that has been buried with time. And now, I want to say, yes, these stories may sound far-fetched, but they share some interesting patterns. In the present day, countries are busy doing all kinds of research, searching for dark matter, building time machines, exploring higher dimensions, or just putting out fires. Perhaps in a few years, time travel will no longer be a myth.